You'll see on this channel, besides seeing workouts, advice on how to stay physically fit, especially as a gentleman, you'll also see from time to time content around Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I thought today I would just take a moment to focus in on this area and just highlight how you can survive it, especially when you get older. So I've been doing martial arts in general now for just over 30 years. So I've started with karate, then taekwondo, then boxing, then Muay Thai, and then at my old school I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because it was just a recommendation from the owner at the time. He thought that, you know, since I've been very physically active and I enjoy martial arts, he thought, you know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu would be a good opportunity to learn a very traditional martial arts, but then also learn on how to defend yourself when you get on the ground. So I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now on and off for about 7 years, and right now I'm at the rank of purple belt. So I've noticed as time has gone on that besides getting a bit better, I've also had to deal with the fact that I've gotten older. So as of February of 2024, I will be hitting 47 years of age. So with what that means is that I have to continuously monitor and evaluate any sort of training that I do, and also really be aware of the importance of training in ways where it's not only safe and effective, but I'll be able to do it for many years to come. So with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's one of my favorite martial arts, and I think especially watching the Gracies and GSP, who I have on the back of here, really practice it. You know, I know it's something that I want to do for another 25, 30 years. But I think what I see a lot of times is, you know, I see a lot of older individuals that either want to get into it or are currently into it and are not at that same point they once were. So I thought I would just share some key tips on how to really continue to thrive when you hit 40 plus of age. So I made some notes here because I just want to stay on point and not have such a long video where you might fall asleep to. But here are some points I'd like to share. So number one, and this is stuff I've learned over time. There's many things that you need to do, or you will hear about, but I have four. So the first one is about respecting the inherent risks. So what I mean by that is, you know, it's respecting your partners and who you're training with, right? So at my school, I have various people that I roll with of various ages, various skill levels, and you know, I've had to really learn on accepting on who I'm training with, right? So you have some people that are there just have a good time and, you know, learn some basic things, get a workout and leave. And then you have other cases where, you know, you have people that are there, are elite competitors and train very hard. And, you know, sometimes what you forget is that, especially when you get older, is that you cannot roll and train the way you did when you're in your 30s, or even especially if you didn't start in your 30s, right? So I've seen in cases for myself where I've adapted over time on who I train with. So there, for example, there's a black belt who's 6'4", you know, 230-ish, and he's athletically gifted and is really technically skilled. But there are moments where I can't roll with him all the time because if he does a particular move, I'm at risk to potentially hurt myself. So I know that if I'm going to roll with him, that I may need a round or two off after, and that's okay. But then the next set of rounds after, I'll either go with somebody less skilled and just be gentle, or, you know, if I'm rolling with someone that's just as skilled, I won't be somebody that's his height and strength. So, you know, knowing the importance of the inherent risks or respecting the inherent risks when you're training, I think is very essential, because, you know, if you know and learn on how to adapt and who to train with effectively, that will really significantly increase your chances of having not only a good training session, but you'll be able to return not just for the day or the month or the year, but for decades to come. The second point I've noted is, choosing a safe game. So especially when you get older, doing very complex moves such as a berimbolo, for example, that could be very hard. That could be very hard on your body, right? So for myself, I think one of the things I've learned is to choose a game where there's low risk, and then also I keep my body safe. So for example, some of my favorite moves would be being in closed guard, half guard, or quarter guard. And if you don't know about those, if you're new to jiu-jitsu or you don't know about them, feel free to Google after this video. But like, these are positions where there's a low probability of injuries and injury risks. And even if you do make a mistake, like, you can recover in a very timely fashion. So anytime I'm getting a bit tired, doing training, if I'm able to put a guy in a closed guard, like, I know I'm safe, and I know I have a few moments to recover. And if I know I can't go on much more, I'll just, maybe just drag out the rest of the round and then take the round off and then go back in again. And I think the third thing I would tell you is about the importance of studying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, if you're watching videos online, you're taking classes, I think the more you know about what's going on all parts of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, things won't surprise you as much. So somebody might go for a move where it's very, like, if you've never studied it or heard about it or practiced it, like, you won't see it coming, and you're not able to maybe make those adjustments that are necessary to maybe counter it or prevent yourself from getting injured. But I found that over the years, and especially when you're in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu year in and year out, that you'll learn all parts of it. And even if a guy does hit that move on you, it'll be in a way where, you're not in a high level position of getting injured. But I think the last thing I would say, point number 4, is about the importance of rest and recovery. So understand that, especially when you get older, you can't be doing long or triple workouts like you used to. So for myself, many years ago, I was able to do weight training sessions in the morning, and then, maybe later in the day, do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or the other way around. But I found over time when I was training that if I did one activity, I found the other just got compromised, and you just didn't have the energy and spark to really want to do it. So the way I've adjusted is just now, if I'm going to do weight training on a Monday, I can't do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu until the next day or the day after that, and vice versa. But I found by not overtraining and resting, recovering, and that also includes, eating properly, getting rest, and like those things, especially when you get older, is more essential than actually training, because when you are able to get the proper rest and recovery by sleeping, eating the proper foods, and doing some, stretches and mobility, like that actually helps you to perform better in other things, not just jiu-jitsu, but weight training and just stuff in general, that much better. So to recap, again, here are 4 recommendations to thrive in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when you get older. Number 1, respecting the inherent risks. Number 2, choosing a safe game. Number 3, study and learn as much about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as possible. And last and not least, rest and recover. So I hope if you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to sharing the next video with you next time. Have a great day.